Oh, I thought it was going to be an actual. I got to figure out the countdown thing. We're actually we're actually live right now. But welcome one, welcome all, welcome near, welcome far, welcome to the world's greatest sports podcast, the Somebody Said podcast. It's not the ordinary pod setting. You know, it's me and Pump today. We're for most of you who listen to the podcast, we're diehard Seminole fans, so it's kind of a event session for us. All you Seminole fans, if you enjoy listening to the show, go ahead and get on in here, like, share, subscribe. Follow us on YouTube at ssbsports.com. Follow the Twitter at Somebody Said Podcast. Follow Instagram at Somebody Said Pod. And check out the website at ssbsports.com. Without further ado, man, let's just jump on into this game. Florida State versus Memphis at home goes down 20-12 with an underwhelming performance led by DJU. This is the second time Mike Norvell has been 0-3 in his 5-year career so far. Went undefeated last year. Got snubbed for the playoffs, and a lot of expectations coming into this year. You start off losing to Georgia Tech in Dublin, come back home, lose to Boston College in a disappointing fashion, and now here it is, you're losing to your former team in Memphis. It's not looking good for the Seminoles moving forward. You got Cal next week, but let's just kind of dive into this game, Pump, and I don't know if I want to start with what went wrong or just what needs to be done.
I'm about to say, I mean, if you want to go what went wrong, that's going to be the whole show.
Well, I mean, defense, I thought played good enough to win this game. So I don't want to say the whole show. I thought there were some good points in that game where the defense did enough to win a game like this.
Yeah. I mean, it still comes down to execution for these guys. I mean, there's moments in that game where it's weird how a 13-0 team. I know you lost a lot of guys, but you still had a lot of guys from that team last year that are on this team this year. And I know we'll probably dive into a little bit, but just mental errors, lack of communication, the special teams play. You had them on fourth down, and all of a sudden you jump off sides on a punt. I don't get that at all.
Is that lack of discipline or is that coaching?
I think it's both. Right now, I mean, you have to look at these coaches. I mean, again, these coaches keep putting DJ Lundy out there in pass coverage, right? Like I think that we could have predicted what was going to happen on that fourth down play. Get DJ Lundy out in space on a back, and he can't cover. Herm, texted us, Noel's got to, make a better tackle, but nobody practices tackling nowadays anyway. Every DB or safety tries to lay the boom on somebody.
Right.
No tackling anymore. But all that right there, that's coaching, right? DJ being out there, that's a coach's decision. You not having your guys prepared to just watch the ball, watch the snap. That's coaching. That's discipline. Yeah. That's coaching that has to come from up top. Offense. Again, Mike Norvell, what are you doing, man? You can't run the ball. There's nothing right now that shows you we can run the ball. And, we've seen this man, turn to the Wildcat and it at least be effective. It won you the ACC championship last year. Be creative. He's a really good offensive coach. At least we thought so. Right?
Yeah.
And right now it's showing that he is just going to bang his head into the wall until it works. The boy ain't going to have no brains left. He's going to be Tua by the end of the year if he keeps doing that.
Yeah. And I think when you look at this offense, to kind of quote Breeze, unfortunately, it just looks real vanilla. He normally throws that word out a lot. And there were times at that game where it seemed like Mike just didn't want to push the ball down the field. There were several times where he threw the screen in the flat, and you had a smaller guy blocking for a wide receiver. You got one of our guys, Jalen Brown, got hurt because Ja'Kai Douglas was blocking for him.
Why is Ja'Kai Douglas out there blocking?
Yeah, so it's and I don't know if that's indicative of Mike not wanting to. And I'm kind of with you because I kind of gave some pushback as far as keeping DJU in the game and just going down with the ship, because you got the investment of God knows how much money you paid this kid, and you kind of hitch your wagon up with DJU, and it's not going the way that they predicted. But at some point, you have to kind of switch up the offensive game plan. Lawrence told Philly shouldn't be getting 4 handoffs. If you were to pick something out of this running game, he had a run up the sideline where he broke free, and that was somewhat of a spark. Roydell Williams, second play of the game, he fumbles. And if you look at what Lawrence Toafili has done for this offense throughout his career, he's been here through the rough times. He essentially won us an ACC championship, and for Mike to kind of just have him take a back seat to a guy that's not even familiar with the program, he's just a Bama product. It's kind of hard to watch, because Toafili, he's been through the rigors of being a Florida State Seminole. Mm-hmm. So, and you see the ability for him. So I don't understand that either.
Yeah, and not even just him. I mean, even Cam Davis had 5 carries. He had more carries than Toafili. At some points, and it feels like, is Mike playing certain guys to risk not losing them? I think Cam Davis is going to be nice, right? And this season is over and done with at this point. So if you're going to play the young guys on defense and on offense, I just don't understand why you're choosing to keep on trotting DJ out there. At this point, like when I'm watching the defense and I'm seeing KJ Kirkland out there, I'm seeing Edwin Joseph out there, I'm seeing a whole bunch of guys out there that's going to be the future of the team. Even the same thing on the offensive side of the ball. Why are you sticking with the quarterback when you know that he can't do it? Like right now, I think I text you guys, Mike Norvell's offense has to have either a run game or a mobile quarterback, right?
Right.
Jordan Travis didn't run the ball at all last year, but the threat of Jordan Travis was always there. You know that he could run, he could break it off anytime he wanted to, right? Trey Benson was 2 yards, 65 yards. It wasn't because of the offensive line. The offensive line been garbage. Right. And the credit that they were given to the offensive line just a few years ago, it was really predicated off of everything we saw Jordan Travis doing with his legs. I don't even think the offensive line was really that good. They looked better because you had a quarterback that put fear in you. That RPO stuff worked with Jordan Travis because he could always pull it and get 7 or bust off a long 22, 20, 30 yard run. Right now, you don't have that. So we're sitting here. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying we're sitting here watching it, and Mike is forcing what we're doing in like these wide receiver bubble screens. It reminds me of Willie Taggart's offense.
I was gonna say that, man. It's giving Willie Taggart vibes, and it was simply because Willie didn't trust Jordan Travis to push the ball down the field, and it's obvious that Mike does not trust DJ to push the ball down the field. But my thing is, if you're at that point and you see what this offense is with DJ, why not go with the other options? Why not throw Brock out there and see what you have moving forward? Why not throw Luke out there, see what you have moving forward? It can't hurt you at this point. And I kind of hark back to the beginning of the season where we were talking about this team, and I think it was Breeze that brought up who was going to be that guy, that Trey Benson or that Dalvin Cook, that's when no one's making a play, who's going to just bust a 60-yard run or a 50-yard catch or what have you. And I'm looking across this roster, man, and you don't have a guy that's just a gamer that's going to say, hey, I'm going to bust this game wide open. And the fact that Mike isn't scheming up any plays for guys to be running open or guys to be making plays. And on top of that, you don't have that game breaker.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a long season. I know it's literally week 3, man, and it's the ship is going down.
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, Mike has schemed up some plays. Like it seems like constantly, week in and week out, we're talking about somebody missing a play. Right? There was a play, I think it might have been a third down play, Keziah Holmes wide open on a screen. He probably could have busted about 15, 20 yards, dropped the ball. Mm-hmm. Right? Last week it was Morlock. Before that, whether it be Malik Benson or whoever, just they can't catch. And yeah, I feel like right now you got guys that are trying to press, right? Like they're trying to make a big play. They're trying to be impactful instead of just letting the game come to them. And that's what this team, at the end of the day, I know this team has talent, right? Again, it's a lot of the guys that we saw last year. We know that they can do it. We know that they have talent. They're trying to do way too much. And it's a desperate team right now, man. And they're not playing with the kind of desperation that you want. they're struggling, man. It's gonna be a long season. Right now, I told Herm, we ain't going to South Bend, man.
So if you're Mike Norvell, what kind of message could you give this locker room? Because obviously we're dealing with young kids at the end of the day, and you could lose a locker room really fast. And it's not only kids; it's kids that's getting paid, kids that's two of our D tackles had Lambos driving around in the offseason. And now I'm assuming they're probably the most attacked on this team because this fan base is not a friendly fan base when you're not winning ball games. So I could only imagine now what those players are going through with the fan base and social media. You had Bleacher Report tweeting out at us during the game, so it's like, not only is the whole world against Florida State at this point, then you got your own fan base. What can Mike possibly say to this locker room to salvage any sort of a good season?
Honestly, I don't know. Right now, it's the easiest thing to do. What they always say, the most popular person on campus is the backup quarterback, right?
Right.
I don't think putting the backup quarterback is all of a sudden going to change this team. I think we've always said it's not like you're putting in Tua, right, off the bench. You're putting in Caleb Williams off the bench. You're not doing that. You're putting in Brock Glenn, who the last time we saw him play, it was right. Now, again, to his credit, he had no time to prepare. He was thrown in an impossible situation. Fine, I get all that. And obviously he hasn't had anything in practice or off season to show that he should be elevated over DJ. That's fine, but at some point you have to do something to spark this team. It doesn't feel like anybody feels confident on that offense with DJ under the helm. You know what I mean? You play wide receiver. You know that at any time, hey man, I can get open. Even on that the Hail Mary play. I was trying to figure out where was DJ throwing. Everybody was over here. He threw over here. He's on the run to his right. He's better scrambling to his right, and he throws the ball. Was he trying to maybe throw to a spot and have his guys come and get it instead of throwing into the crowd? It didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, and I think I'm kind of over, kind of bashing DJ because he is.
No, I'm not over it. If Mike keeps rolling his ass back out there, I'm gonna bash DJ, and I'm gonna bash Mike for it too, though. But I'm also gonna bash Mike. It's not just DJ; it's all Mike too. Mike keeps rolling out there.
And Clint tweeted out, yeah, we blame DJ for a lot of things, but it's a bad team across the board right now. Like you could say you have talent all you want, but at the end of the day, if that talent ain't playing on Saturdays, it don't matter. Like I played on teams where it was loaded. Like I played on teams where it was guys that made it to the league, but we didn't play good collectively as a unit. So you could have all the talent in the world and you don't play well as a unit. So yeah, but DJ gets a lot of the blame, but at this point, I'm looking past DJ and trying to see what do we have to work with. Before we kind of move on real quick, I do want to of course, Breeze is in the comments, so I want to read his question that he has. He's saying, "Is this now a rebuild? If so, how long will Mike get to do so?"
I think that we obviously, we drank the Kool-Aid over the off season. Going off of a 13-0 season, I don't think that we expected to be here. I think that some of us even expected, if we were honest with each other, 2, maybe 3 losses, right? Clemson here, Notre Dame here, maybe we lose to Miami.
None of the first 3.
Not the first 3.
Yeah.
not the first 3 at all.
Yeah.
The rebuild has to start, obviously, right? Mike completely over evaluated this team.
So you're basically saying the strategy for Mike to attack the portal and scrounge up a top 25 recruiting class, not necessarily like a top 10, but just scrounge up the best recruiting class out of high school and just go full-fledged at the portal wasn't a good strategy. Now we're here in year 5, and why are we rebuilding? It shouldn't be a rebuild. It should be building on top of what you already have. So based on what you're saying, that strategy essentially failed.
Well, I mean, in all honesty, like let's just be, let's be honest with each other for a few minutes. What did we have? Right? When you lose 10, starters to the draft, that's huge. Right? Now, I don't think that we expected to lose to the teams that we're losing to, but even Michigan looks different after losing everything that they lost. Right? We're not loaded like Georgia is, not loaded like Bama. We don't have that. We don't have that there. The weapons that we had are gone. So, to Breeze's point, or to Breeze's question, the rebuild, I think we always kind of knew, like, all right, who's going to be the guy to step up? Last year we knew we had Johnny, we knew we had Trey, we knew we had Jared Verse. Then we go into the portal, we get a Keon. We didn't need Keon Coleman. Right? But the fact that we got a Keon Coleman was fantastic. But we didn't come into this season with even a Johnny Wilson. If anything, our best receiver is Ja'Kai Douglas, who's not going to be playing on Sundays. Love Ja'Kai, hell of a player. He's a really good college player. He's not going to play on Sunday. So if that's going to be your guy, then yeah, you had to hit the portal. But even in that, we weren't getting Keon Coleman. So nobody think Malik Benson or Jalen Brown is a Keon Coleman. Then when you go out and get a quarterback because you don't think that you have what you need, again, Mike's evaluation of these guys clearly was here, and their performance is here, what they actually are.
So with that being said, though, I think if your evaluation is here and the performance is here, you could also allude that to coaching as well. You might need to hire a better coaching staff because obviously these coaches aren't getting the at this point in where I'm at as a Florida State fan, get rid of Odell Higgins. He's a staple in this university. Like, he could have an off the field position, but I need more out of my D line, especially if you got NFL scouts coming to the practices and saying this is an NFL caliber defensive line, and I'm not maximizing that talent. I'm looking at coaching because the talent is there, but if you aren't getting the most out of these players, it's not the players. I mean, the players play a role in it, but at the same time, coaches can bring a lot out of you, especially if you have a lot of talent there. Yeah. So, and Odell Hagan, he's kind of gotten by because of elite talents like Jared Verse and elite talents like the kid.
But it's the thing, but that's what I'm saying though. It's not like Jared Verse was coming from a Georgia or a Clemson. Right, they got him out of Albany. Clearly, he had a whole bunch of talent. There was other teams that wanted him, but Jared Verse came up under Odell Higgins for 2 seasons. Right, Braden Fisk, Notre Dame wanted Braden Fisk too. But he was out in Western Michigan. So these guys that they're bringing in, and even with our linebackers last year, Tatum Bethune, all right, cool, led the nation in tackling. Nobody thought that Tatum Bethune was the best linebacker in the country, right? Kalen DeLoach, nobody thought that he's the best. We even you, me, and Herm would kind of get on DeLoach a lot of times. I'd be the only one caping for DeLoach a lot of times, right? But the way that they played and the way that they played together, the communication was leaps and bounds better than what we have. So again, like, even Johnny Wilson, picked him up off the scrap heap in Arizona, or Arizona State, or Arizona
Arizona State,
right?
Yeah.
So it's like, I still believe that these guys can get talent and get guys in here and make them better. I don't know what happened this year. Again, maybe to me, the guys that they brought in just aren't what they thought they were. So even with that D-line, we saw Josh Farmer last year. Josh Farmer was good.
It's easy to be good when you're
last year. Patrick Payton was good.
It's easy to be good when you're not the guy, but once you're the guy and that pressure's on your shoulder and you're out here driving Lambo trucks or whatever, it's different when the spotlight is on.
The Lambo trucks are leased. All right, they didn't buy those trucks. Those are leased automobiles.
Man, don't be driving no Lambo truck. You ain't even gotten nowhere yet in life, and you're driving a Lambo truck. We're not gonna stay here too long. It's already tough just hopping on live and talking about your 0-3 team coming off of a undefeated season. And I'm sure Miami fans are just basking in even all this failure. So
I'm seeing even Oklahoma fans here in the chat, man. It's not garbage. It's true though, man. Look, when it rains, it pours. At this point, nobody comes in here with the fear of playing Florida State, right? This is 2 back-to-back losses at home too. That's even worse. So nobody sees Florida State on the schedule and is like, oh man, it's gonna be a tough game. Like when you get some of these underdog teams now give them a little bit of confidence, man, that can go a long way. So right now, we got Cal, we got that SMU game, we got the Notre Dame game, we got Clemson. Matter of fact, what's our schedule looking like right now?
The only game I see us winning like outright is Charleston Southern right now.
Maybe
at this point, maybe. But all these other games, we're gonna have to go out and win these games. Like, it's not gonna be easy games.
Can I ask you an honest question?
Yeah.
What do you think the percentage is of us starting the season 0-6? Because we got Cal, we got SMU, and we got Clemson. Those are our next 3 games.
I think we could beat Cal. Honestly, I think we could beat Cal. No,
I don't.
It's at home, right? It's an at-home game.
No, I thought that one is at Cal.
It's at Cal. I think talent. I mean, it just harks back to talent. Like, I get it.
No, you're right. I'm sorry. It is home. It's home.
So Cal is a winnable game. Not saying that we're going to win it, but it's a winnable game. SMU, that's a winnable game. They haven't looked good either, but we're not that great either. So those are 2 winnable games. I think we lose to Clemson. Duke, it's a winnable game, but everything is up in the air as well. But the possibilities of starting 0-6 is on the table. It's on the table.
Say, Breeze just said it in the comments. I was just about to say, Cal beat Auburn. Not saying that Auburn is a world beater either, but that's a decent SEC team, and they beat Auburn. Look, man, I think it's more than a 70% chance that we start this season 0-6.
I can't argue it.
It's gonna be in all honesty, this season is gonna be a true test of what Mike Norvell really. I mean, because he's paid, right? Got paid.
He ain't going nowhere.
He's gonna be here for a while. That's why I'm tired of hearing all the people fire Mike Norvell. It's the same coach that just took us to a 13-0 season, right?
But to kind of go back to Breeze's original question, how many years are you giving him if he keeps putting out a very underwhelming product on the field? Are we giving him 2 years, 3 years?
I'll give him. I think he has a solid 2 years to fix it. Especially if Luke is going to be the guy that you think he is at quarterback. Florida State is still going to get talent. We always said that on the show, right? Florida State, Miami, they always get talent. It's hard to win in college football, especially in the P4, without really good to competent quarterback play. Right? I don't think Jordan Travis was the greatest quarterback in Florida State history. He's 4th on that list. That says a lot. It's behind a lot of Heisman winners. But even in a team like Michigan, Nobody thinks that J.J. McCarthy was the greatest quarterback of last year, but that's competent quarterback play behind a really good defense.
Mm-hmm.
Give me competent quarterback play, and things can change. Give me dynamic quarterback play, things can change, right? Anthony Richardson at least always put Florida in a position to win because he was a dynamic player at the most important position.
Right.
We don't have any of that right now. I think that Hakeem is good. I think that Malik Benson is good.
They're not given a chance to show how good they are.
behind a line, and again, this goes back to the coaching. Not to keep on harping on it, but when the O-line is not good and you have a quarterback that is a statue, what do you think is going to happen, Mike? He can't run the ball. He can't run. He can't move. He stands back there. The O-line is going to give you no time. It's going to go downhill. So
and I'm also sick of hearing about how much experience this O-line has. That they have 2,000 starts between all of them. It doesn't matter how many starts you have if you're not producing. This O-line is probably the worst O-line in the ACC right now.
It's been the worst. It's been bad. It's been covered up by really good players behind it. Jordan Travis, Lawrence Toafili, Trey Benson.
Right.
You've been covering up for bad offensive line play for the past 3 years. But I don't know, man. We'll see where it goes. Hopefully we don't have to do this next week. I don't want to do this next week. I'm gonna be one of those guys that has the bag over my head from now on. Now,
or throw the Darth Vader mask on, man.
Yeah.
So if we had to call it, man, we're 0-3 right now. Before we get up out of here, what do you think our record, based on what you're seeing thus far in this season, what do you think our record will be?
If we're being honest right now,
mm-hmm.
right? I think that we are going to start this season 0-6. I truly believe that.
That's an all-time low.
That's an all-time low. That's really, really bad. I think that we start this season 0-6, 1-5 at the best. Maybe we beat Cal. I don't think we beat SMU at SMU. We definitely don't beat Clemson. That defense is still really good. Their offense sucks, but we're worse than them.
OG outside says 2. He must be so, Breeze, you must have invited him to the party.
Listen, give me a win at Duke. Give me a win at Charleston Southern. And maybe we get a win. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
All right. Who's the starting quarterback next week?
DJ. Mike is not going to change.
Okay.
I don't think Mike's going to make a change. And at this point where, you saw what was happening going into halftime, why not have something ready for Brock Glenn to at least get a couple of snaps in that game?
Right.
I think it was that one drive we had. We had the deep pass to Malik Benson, right? We had a couple runs, and then we scored really quickly. If we go 3 and out on that possession, our first possession out of the half, maybe he does it. But after that, there still wasn't any movement. Like Mike is just, again, he's just banging his head against this wall trying to make this work, and I don't get why. So if he's not going to make a change, then we're going to get more to say. At this point, we know what this team is. It's exactly what it is. Not good.
I hate to say it, but I agree with you on all those sentiments, man. Unfortunately, it's going to be a long season for us. Shots are in order. We're taking shots all Saturday, every Saturday. Hopefully, like you said, we don't have to come on here and have these talks, but it seems like it's going to be this way for the next couple Saturdays. Good thing is your Bears are on the up and up, and my Bucks are doing pretty good. So hopefully we could rely on these Sunday games and kind of blur through these Saturdays. You hate to see it, but it's a part of college football. Every fan base goes through it. Obviously, we're going to have to go through it this season, and hopefully for us Noles fans, it gets a little bit better. It doesn't seem that way, but
One thing before we get out, what kind of scares me? Like this little blip, it makes me even more nervous about, the lawsuit. We haven't heard anything about the lawsuit lately. there's nothing about where we're at right now, and especially with the SEC teams and Big Ten teams now kind of seeing like, oh, well, yeah, Florida State was hitting that portal pretty hard. Yeah, let's get in the portal now because we can pay you guys more.
Right.
The secret's out. The cat's out the bag. At this point, do you really want to go to the SEC anymore?
And does the SEC actually want us? And shout out to OG outside. My apologies. He's a Knowles fan, but 2 wins, bro. Come on, like where's your pride at, man? At least
he ain't wrong. He ain't wrong. I see 2 wins on this schedule, but no, for real, going forward, it again, if Mike can't right this ship, it's not going to be good. And I don't know, man.
And then it's like, my final thought is, if Mike loses or has an 0-4 season, and then you're saying what, an 0-6 to start this season, that's 2 of the all-time worst seasons as a head coach in the school history. Mm-hmm. To go back to Breeze's question, the leash might be a little shorter if you do those things, so it might be a 2-year window.
Maybe. I mean, the landscape is different. This isn't, especially with the NIL and transfer portal and all that stuff. It's a different brand of college football. So that's why I give them a little extra, length on that leash. Just because if this was the old, college football format and you have 2 of the worst starts, then yeah, that leash is very, very short. But I think that everybody is still kind of navigating these post NIL portal waters. So I'll give him a little bit of time. Again, the man just went 13-0. That's not fluky. That's hard to do, right? I think that means something, right? And again, the players that he pumped out there, those weren't all just one and done players. You know what I mean? Jared Verse was here for 2 years. Trey Benson was here for 2 years. Johnny Wilson was here for 2. Like, we've had guys that we had under our, under Mike's tutelage, and yes, and we definitely need a mobile quarterback. So, yeah, man, that's where we're at. 0-3.
Right.
Not to be 0-6.
All right. Well, this has been the first installment of SSP Knowles. Hopefully, we have better reviews moving forward. Hopefully, we're talking about wins instead of losses. The man shaking his head to my left is the one and only Pumpy Johnson.
We are officially the Garnet and Fold.
The Garnet and Fold, and I'm the real Unc Shay. Shout out to Unc though. Had an eventful week, man. Yeah, man, we trash right now. We trash. Yeah. I got nothing else to say, but like, share, subscribe. Check out the YouTube at SSP Sports. Check out the Twitter at Somebody Said Podcast. Check out Instagram at Somebody Said Pod, and also check out our website at sspsports.com. And with that being said, go Noles. Hopefully the Gators lose today, and hopefully the Canes lose as well.
Right. Go Noles.